This conference will now be recorded.
In our last class, we started discussing about a recap of the data types. I mean to say fundamental data types. Do you have any questions in the concept what we discussed, like how to accept the customer name, account number, balance, address, and how to give a print for that? Or we are good to go for our next concept?
Yes, Amar.
So when you come to the next concept in fundamental data type is typecasting in Python. So typecasting is nothing but converting one data type to other data type. There might be a chance you're getting some data from different sources, maybe Excel or CSV or TST or data from the database itself. But due to requirement purpose, it is a mandatory you need to be convert from one type to other type. So if when you're this process we call it the typecasting. Let me show you. Now you can see converting one data type to other data type we call as a typecasting. So as an example to understand this concept, we are trying to take different data types and trying to convert into different other data types. So converting a string to an integer. So user is entering some data. By default, the system will treat it as a string. But for my requirement purpose, I want to be converted into an integer. So what I can do is I can use an int function. So input, enter the value of x and storing into a new variable called x. So whenever the user entered the x value, any numerical data, it can be including float or without float, the system treats as a string only. So if you see type of x, system is going to return as a string. But my requirement purpose, I want to convert the number into an integer. So I use an int function for x variable and storing a new variable called y. So when you see the y value, it will behave like an integer. Are you getting? So now you have x value. I'm just giving one, some number. System treating as a string. And I'm expecting to return as an integer. So I applied int function for x variable. System automatically return as converted as an integer and store it in a new variable called y. When you see the y, the system is going to take it as integer. Is it clear?
Yes, Amar.
But now my question to you people is, what if there might be a chance user can enter a string, not an actual real number, something like this. This for your assignment, not for explaining purpose. So Amar is the test he entered. So how the system will treat? That is your assignment purpose. If the system able to convert, what can be? If the system showing an error, why that error? Are you getting my point? If you enter the number, system treats as a string and converting as an integer. What if the user entered an alphabetical letter?
Because that is
Scenario.
not, we assign that variable as the integer.
Which one?
The value is we assign integer, right?
No, now it's a letter. You can see here the letter. So how the system treats this letter, by default system say user interprets take it as a string, but as a subsequent to that I try to convert as an integer in the same program. So are you able to change a letter to a string, sorry, numerical data? If yes, then how? If no, why? That is the thing, my requirement, my small assignment for basic questions. Are you getting my point?
Uh-huh.
The next thing is, so as I told you, input should be a number. If you enter any string value, then system shows an error. The reason is system cannot be convert as an ASCII number and display the number, something like that. System will take the input of integer only, and it will be convert string as an integer. If you enter any alphabetical number or a letter, system cannot be show any value. It will show only the error. There might be a chance user is entering some number without a decimal point, but your requirement is you need to be converted into with a decimal point, nothing but a float. So I have some user input like a 10, and I'm storing into X variable. When you see the type, it's going to be an integer by default. The reason is there is no decimal point, and you want to be converted into a float, so float of X. So when you use a function called float of X, system automatically convert the string, convert the integer into a float, and it will be add a decimal point, the number whatever is supposed to be appropriate number, and it will store into new variable called y. So when you see the y is going to be displayed as a float. Now you can see 10 integer, after converting to float, you can see 10.0 float. Any questions? Giri or Yamini?
No.
Similarly, we have we may have a requirement in future, something like convert the float into integer. If you are converting a float to an integer, one keynote you need to be remember: the system cannot to use round function. Nothing but if the decimal point is very close to the highest number, then it will be round up to the closest integer. There is no round function will work here. It just blindly drop the decimal point. So you can see here 10.9. Our expectation is round to 11 if you go to general scenario, but Python will not work like that. Python has a different function called round. We'll discuss in future. But right now, when you're trying to convert the float as an integer, system just drop the decimal point and display as a 10. You can see here 10.9 is a float. Since I use an int function, system automatically convert this float value as an integer and store it in a new variable called y. When you see the y, it's showing as integer. Clear? Any questions in the basics? Converting integer to Boolean type. So there might be a chance if you have some numbers, some integer numbers, and you want to be displayed as a true or false. So if you have some number and store it in a variable called x, and if you're going to see that that number behave like an integer, but you want to see an outcome like 1 or 0. So when you want to be converted into 1 or 0, true or false, you're going to use a Boolean operator. One keynote here is when if you are going to be assign any number except 0, system treat as a true, nothing but 1. If you are assigning a 0, system treat as a false. So the same thing I mentioned here, except 0, any other value, system treated as a true. So print y, since I assign convert into Boolean function and store it in a new variable called y, print y and type of y. You can see here, I assigned 1, it was an integer. After converting to Boolean, the system written as a true, and it was a Boolean. So there might be a chance you may require to convert the boolean into an integer. When you are converting from integer to boolean, you may have any number except 0 considered as a 1 and 0 considered as a false. But when you are converting from boolean to integer, you have only two numbers, either 1 or a 0. So you have true and x variable and print type of x, system treat it as a boolean type, and you want to be converted as an integer. So system returns only 1. It will not return anything else. It returns only 1. If it's a false, return 0. That's all. You can see here 1 integer, true boolean. So I converted from boolean to integer. Now what if I convert one? What if I change to false? It will return only 0, an integer. The only two integers that can be converted from boolean to integer. You cannot create multiple integer numbers. Only two options, either 1 or a 0. Hope you are clear. Any questions in this concept? Is it clear?
Somewhat.
So when so far whatever you discussed only the fundamental data types. There is lot we need to be covered in data types. Common collection data types we have to be covered. How to do the comprehensive activities. For example, by using a control statement, how can I minimize the length of the code? Everything we need to discuss. All these things is part of your data types only. So for that, we need to know few more things like control structures. So operators in data types, arithmetic operators we can do. As I explained to you here, Python can work as a calculator. So all your arithmetical operations you can able to apply in your Python. Comparison operators. So you're trying to give a comparison between one variable to other variable or one number to other number. If you want to give a comparison, you can able to do the comparison operators. Comparison activities you can do. Logical operators. So by using a conditions like a true or false, or if it's a true, perform something. If it's a false, something else you can do. Logical operators you can do. Assignment operators. So we already know assignment operators is nothing but equality sign. And identity operators, membership operators. These are different type of operators available in Python. So based on this operators only, we are going to be work, and we can able to do some kind of programming activity for fundamental data types. So when you say assignment operators, these are performing only the arithmetic operations. The various arithmetic operations are addition. So you can see the symbol here, which I'm going to use it. Subtraction, multiplication, division. It represents the quotient. And modular division, floor division, and exponent. So based on this arithmetic operation, I can able to do whatever I want. For example, I want to find out the even numbers. I go for modular division. Based on the remainder, whether it's a 0 or a 1, or 0 or any other number, I'm going to decide whether it's an even number or odd number. So here you can see the values. X equal to 10 and y equal to 4. So I have two numbers and two values and assigned to two different variables. If I want to do addition, x plus y, I'm storing a new variable called add. And similarly, x minus y, I'm going to find out subtraction, difference, and multiplication, x multiply y, and division, x by y, and modular division, x percentage y, and floor division, x double hash slash y, and x to the power of n, x to the power of y, nothing but x double star y, nothing but exponential. So by applying all these things, I can able to perform all my mathematical. I can able to perform all my mathematical function. Now let's try to see whether the calculations are perfect or not. So 10 plus 4, 14. 10 minus 4, 6. 10 multiply 4, 40. And 10 by 4, 2.5. And modular division, 10 by 4, how much you're getting? 2. And floor division, you're getting 2 as a without a decimal. And 10 to the power of 4, you're getting 10,000. Is it clear how you're getting the mathematical function? Or still you have any questions?
Good, Amal.
So you may have an option to ask you something like this. I want to round the decimal points to one number to other number. Maybe I have 10 decimal points. After decimal point, I have 10 values. I want to be round up to 2 decimals, or I want to be round up to 0. So how to do that means we can use a round function. So you can see here print 10 of 3. I'm getting some number like 3.33333. But my expectation is I don't want to see multiple trees after decimal. I want to see only two decimals or 3 decimals. I want to fix it. So I can use a round function. So round off 10 by 3, comma, how many decimals you want to be displayed. So I want to display 2 numbers. So the system is going to display only 2. Now you can see 2 decimals you can see. Any questions? Or you want to see 3 decimals, or you want to see 10 decimals. So just mention the decimal numbers, how many you wanted to see. One plus point here is when you are using a round function, system will go to the closest number. For example, 3.438. So 8 is the very closest to the nearest integer. So it will be converted as 3.44. If instead of 8, if I have something like 1, it will go to the closest number. So that is nothing but 3.43. So round up or round down will decide based on the round function. But when you see converting from integer to float and float to integer, there blind spot it's dropping the decimals. But when if you are going to use this function round before conversion, that might be somewhat useful. Are you getting my point? The accuracy might be higher. Again, it's your call with the project whether to be convert the float into the closest round function, then convert it as an integer, or directly you can take it as an integer by dropping decimal point. Are you clear what I'm trying to say? Any questions? These are couple of arithmetic operations on integer function and float function. So far you've seen either I applied integer function or a float, but can I take it together? Means you can take together and apply in one arithmetic operation. I can include my float, I can include my integer, or a combination of both. So you can see 3.3 is a float and 10 is an integer. Can I do arithmetic operations? Means you can do arithmetic operations. You will get the solution. So 10 plus 3.3, 10 minus 3.3, 10 multiply 3.3, 10 by 3.3, and so on. So if you use arithmetic operations, you will get the solution. But one thing you need to be understand by seeing the outcome, everything comes under float, which is more generic. Integer is specific than the float. So the more generic one is a float one. So system is going to display all your outcomes with a decimal. Any questions? Are you confirmed? You're good to go. Can I do some arithmetic operations between integer and boolean operator? I'll say yes, we can do that. So x equal to 4.5, print of x plus true. True is nothing but 1. And print x minus false, nothing but 0. X minus 0 is nothing but 4.5 minus 0. Print x multiply 0, false, nothing but 4.5 multiply 0. So what can be your outcome? True stands for always returns 1, false always returns 0. So 4.5 become as 5.5 because I'm going doing the addition to with true, and 4.5 become as 4.5. It remains same because false is a 0. So 4.5 minus 0 is going to be 4.5 only, and x multiply false is nothing but 4.5 multiply 0, that is going to be 0. Any questions? Can I apply a arithmetic operations on a string variable, string and integer combination? In the sense, you will say yes. Performing arithmetic operations on string and integer too. Integer and string cannot, string and integer and string cannot perform arithmetic operations. So you can see here, print Amarnath plus 3. Here 3 is nothing but not an integer, it is a string. So converting integer as a string, then you are performing your arithmetic operation. That means system is going to display Amarnath 3. It's not going to display like Amarnath plus 3. So what is the wrong approach here? Generally the people will say do is Amarnath plus 1, but 1 is not a string. Even the as per syntax of Python, you cannot take integer and string together. The reason is Amarnath is going to be a string and 1 is going to be an integer, and plus sign doesn't know whether it has to do an aggregate function or it has to do the concatenate function. When you use a plus sign for a string, it is going to be a concatenate. If in terms of integer, it is going to be an aggregation. So system will show an error. Are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So either I can convert the data whatever I'm getting. It's a hard coded. 3 is a hard coded, but when you're getting the data from different sources, maybe from the preceding program, so there is going to be a dynamic. So how to do that one means just use a string function, Amarnath plus string of the x variable. System automatically convert the x value and store it as a string. So string plus string is going to be concurrent function, and you can use multiplication function for repetition purpose. It is not going to do multiplication, it is going to be repetition. So the repetition syntax you can write like a string multiply the number of time the string has to be displayed, or the number of time the string has to be displayed multiply with string. So 3 multiply Amarnath or Amarnath multiply 3, you are getting the same solution. You can see here Amarnath 3, Amarnath 1. The reason is it's a string and this is also string. So it's a concatenate function, and Amarnath multiply with 3 is nothing but 3 times Amarnath is repeated, and 3 multiply Amarnath is going to be 3 times Amarnath is repeated. So there is no difference in writing a syntax number of times into string or string multiply number of times. You're getting the same. Any questions on this? Now let's come to comparison operators. That just pass me if I'm going first. Comparison operators to see the comparison between two different variables. So operators are used to compare the content of two different objects. Comparison operators always return either true or false. It is not going to give any other results except true or false. You are comparing whether Amar is intelligent than Amani or Amani is intelligent than Amar. So either it can be true or a false only. It cannot say that both are same. I mean to say 1% Amar is higher than Amani or Amani is 2% higher than Amar. It will not return some descriptive statement. It just tell yes or no, true or false. So the frequently comparison operators, what we use it is these things: greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, equal. So the thing is, when you use single equal, that is an assignment operator in our program, like x equal to 10. So 10 value I'm assigning to x. But if you want to give the comparison, I need to use double equal. Hope you can understand and you can note down, register yourself. If you use single equal, that is as an assignment operator. If you use double equal, that is going to be comparison operator. Are not equal. So by using these conditions, I can able to give the comparison between multiple variables. So right now, for understanding purpose, x equal to 10 and y equal to 4. I have two variables. So print x greater than y. So what is our expectation? Is x greater than y means the system is going to return as true. Print x less than y. So our expectation is system has to return as false. Print x greater than or equal to y. It is also true, right? Either it can be more or equal to 10. You can see true. Or print x less than or equal to y. It's a false. Print x equal to y, double equal to y. Nothing but x is same as y. So it's also false. Print x not equal to y. So 10 is not equal to 4, so I'll say true. So you can see the outcomes. Any questions on this? Comparison operators. You're feeling okay? Are getting, or am I going fast?
No, I'm good, Amar.
Okay. Logical operators. So logical operators are give the logical relationship between two different objects. So do you know arithmetic operators and comparison operators? Similarly, when you are trying to give the logical relation between two different objects, then we go for logical operators. And logical operators also return either a true or false. It's not going to return as something else. So various logical operators, what we have is and or not. So there are three different logical operators. Generally, we use it and or not. So based on these combinations, we are going to get either a true or false in a logical operator. For an example, x condition is a true, y condition is a true, then x and y also is going to be true. So true and true is going to be true. And what about x or y in the sense that is going to be true, because x or y, x can be true or y can be true. Anyone is accepted, then x or y also is accepted. When you're coming to different combination, different scenario, x is a true, y is a false. Then x and y together we consider as a false only. Since both are not true, so x and y is going to be a false. X or y is going to be true. If one condition is satisfied, x or y is going to be true. Similarly, if both conditions are false, x and y is going to be false and x or y is going to be false. So these are the combinations generally we use. Logical and returns the true only if both conditions are true, else return false. Logical or operator and operator and or operator returns true if both or any one of the conditions true. Only when both conditions are false, then it will return as false. So I have, for a testing purpose, I have three different variables: x equal to 10, y equal to 20, z equal to 30. So I have three variables. Now I want to give these conditions, logical conditions, with comparison operators. So I want to store the comparison operator outcome in a P equal to x greater than y and z greater than x. So I want to check x is greater than y. X is a 10, and is it greater than y in the sense it's a false. And z greater than x. Z is greater than x. It's a true. So one true, one false. Then x and y is going to be false only. So the final outcome is going to be false, and the false is going to be stored in a P variable. When you print P, it is going to return as false. Are you getting? Any questions? How it works? Now, second combination. X is greater than y. It's a false. Y is greater than z. It's also false. False and false is going to be false. False or z not equal to x. Z not equal to x means true. So false or true, that is going to be true only. So second condition is supposed to be true. And what about third condition? X greater than y and z exactly equal to 10 plus 20. So z equal to x plus y. So first condition is false, second condition is true. Or so first condition is false and second condition is true means that is going to be false. False or false, both are false. So second condition is supposed to be true and rest of the condition is supposed to be false. Y second last condition is going to be x greater than y, 10 greater than 30. So false. False and true. False and true is going to be false. Or okay, it's a negative sign, not a positive sign. Y double equal to z minus x. That is going to be exactly true. So false or true is going to be true only. Any questions? This scenario?
No, Amma.
So we'll go for assignment operators. So we have assignment operators here. So these operators are used to assign a value to a variable or to an expression or to a variable. So variable to a value to a assign a value or a variable or expression to a variable. So there are three ways you can use assignment operator. You can assign a value, or you can assign a variable, or you can assign some expression to the variable. So for these three reasons, we are going to use assignment operator. So you can see x equal to 10. 10 is the value which assigned to x variable, or I can assign a reference variable to a variable, to a new variable. So y equal to x. So the value whatever I have in x will be referred to y also, will be stored into y also. And z equal to x plus y minus 10. Some expression, some calculations I created and I stored into x z value. So assignment operator, you can use it for assignment of value or a variable or an expression. Three locations you can use it. Any questions? When you come to shorthand operators in assignment operators, when you come to Java, C++ or something, you have x equal to x plus 1, x equal to x multiply 3. So what exactly the x equal to x plus 1 will do means the value whatever is stored in x will be an increment of 1, it will be restored back to x. The same thing, I think there are some programming languages also have the same functionality, similar functionality you have it. So those are nothing but expressions and equivalence. So x equal to x plus 3 means the value whatever I have in x will be increment of 3. That's what if it will be added 3 values and store it back to x. So if my x equal to 1, 1 plus 3, 4, it is going to be stored back to x. So that is the functionality of x equal to x plus 3. The same thing in a shorthand I can write like this, x plus equal to 3. So what is my requirement here is, I want to add 3 numbers to the existing x value and store it back to x only. So in shorthand I can write like this, or x equal to x minus 3. So the value whatever I have in x need to be subtract with 3 and store it back to x. The same thing I can write like this, x minus equal to 3. So the similar functionality in a Python, in a shorthand I can write. It is not something wrong if you're writing x equal to x minus 3 or x equal to x plus 3. Since you are going to act as a Python developer, you should know how to write a shorthand. If you're not getting by that time, you can go into a general format. Nothing wrong in that. The syntaxes are available. It's up to you how you want to write. And x equal to x multiply 3 is nothing but I'm multiplying the x value and store it back to x. Same thing, x multiply equal to 3. X by equal to 3 is nothing but I'm going to divide 3 x value with 3 by 3 and I'm storing back to x value. X modular, x x to the power of n, everything you can do it. All these are expressions are available at the shorthand. If you see here x equal to 10, x plus equal to 4, that means my intention when you are printing x, it should be 14. Now x minus equal to 6, 14 minus 6 is going to be 8. 8 multiplied 2, 16. 16 by 5, I'm going to get some value. So this is the way you'll get. Let me show you. So x equal to 10, and that is not going to display because that is an assignment. X plus equal to 4, that means 10 plus 4. Print x, so 14 is going to display. Now at 14 by default x has the latest number, so 14 minus 6, that is going to be 8. Print x, system is displays 8, and 8 multiplied 2, that is going to be 16. 16 by 5, you are going to get 3.2. So in a shorthand also you can do the assignment operator. Is it clear? Any questions? Any questions from anyone?
No.
So we'll continue tomorrow with a different concept called identity operators and numbership operators. These two we'll discuss tomorrow. And flow control statements, everything we have it. So in another 1 week we'll finish data types.
Tomorrow class is there, Amar?
Not tomorrow, I'm sorry, Monday.
Okay.
Until this, the recordings are available in